back on the air with the bonus episode, Make Trades Great Again podcast. Andy, take it away. You got a story about a customer recently, right?
Yeah. Well, and not even a customer, because I've never met this particular individual.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I don't know him. We've never done any work transaction. So the other day I was in the office, Cheryl's in the office, and we have had a rash of, I guess I don't want to say irrational, because that's not always the case, but almost like borderline irrational customers call, people with highly demanding needs. And if anybody has listened to the podcast at any length of time, we do maybe a little less conventional scheduling where we've got stuff on the schedule. We are booked out. We don't work overtime. We don't work weekends. We don't work nights. Okay. We work our regular time. That's what my guys are, ready to do. Everybody goes home, gets their time off, and, is able to spend time with family. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't work. Maybe it does. It's worked for us. So that said, we usually have a backlog of stuff to do. Nonetheless, this guy calls the other day, and he's, opens up this thing about, oh my gosh, you finally answered the phone. We're like, excuse me? I mean, already, like, very first words out of the guy's mouth are a little bit like taken back, like already almost on the defensive.
Yeah.
And Cheryl says, well, okay, well, what's going on, And he says, where are you located? She's like, well, in Missoula. Well, no, I know, but like, but where are you at right now? And she goes, in my office, like, like trying to, like, is this a salesman?
Yeah.
Who is, I have no clue who this guy is. We don't know what he wants. We've never talked to him before. And he says, well, no, I need to come talk to you. And she goes, well, we work out of our home. Customers do not come to our home.
Yeah.
And he's like, but I need to come talk to you. And it was like that classic scammy, like, all of a sudden this conversation's getting weird and the guy's pushy, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's coming to talk to us.
Well, next question, what do you need to talk to me about?
Right. And she's like, well, I mean, what can we help you with? Well, I've got a referral to come talk to you. And, I need to come see you. And where are you at? And she's, like 3 or 4 times she's like, we work out of our home. I'm not telling you where I live.
Yeah.
And then the guy goes, well, I don't want to know where you live. I just need to come talk to you. And she, and Cheryl looks at me and goes, this one's for you, and hands the phone to me. She's like, she's tapped out for the day.
This guy's like, got some kind of, thing going on.
And so I grabbed the phone and I'm like, hello, this is Andy. How, what do you got going on? Well, I need to come talk to you. And I'm like, okay, well, about what? Let's start there. Like, we can work through this type thing, and I was trying to be cordial with the guy, and he's like, but I just need to come talk to you about my heating system. And I'm like, well, how about I come talk to you about your heating system?
Right.
Because that's how this works. You're not going to bring your heating system to see me. I'm probably going to come to see your heating system.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to talk to somebody. I've been driving around all day trying to find you. And I'm like,
well, what is your fault?
Right. And I'm like, okay,
fault.
does your phone clearly works. You have the right number. I'm like, did you try calling? He's like, yeah, I left a message this morning. And I'm like, okay, well, clearly we haven't had the opportunity to get to your message this morning yet. I, apologize for that, we weren't able to. I said, what time did you call? Well, like 10 o'clock. I said, all right, well, it's like 1. So, I mean, it's still in the same day. I mean, what do you got going on? Well, my pool boiler doesn't seem to be working right.
Oh, okay. Well, who gives a crap?
And I was just like, okay, here we are, 3 minutes into a really awkward conversation where both sides are already annoyed with each other.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, so here's how this works. We are about 5 weeks out right now, and I can gladly put you on my schedule to come look at your pool boiler. I'll come look at it in 5 weeks, and we'll kind of carry on from there. And I started, I said, if you want to give me your name and your address, I can get you built in as a customer. Well, I'm not going to wait 5 weeks. I said, okay, well, You know,
I
good
just
luck.
drove around all afternoon.
I
Apparently.
know. Then that's what I'm like. You got time to drive around town looking for somebody. I'm like, is your boiler not working? Well, no, it's working, but it just isn't. I don't think that it's working right. And I was like, I'm sorry. I said, we're currently sitting at 235 scheduled customers ahead of you.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is. I'm very sorry that this isn't going to work. Let us know if we can help. And he's like, okay, well, sounds good. I guess I'll find somebody else, like annoyed. And I'm like, what do you do? What do you want me to do?
Yeah.
And so
I wonder, yeah.
With this bonus topic, just know as the tip of the Thursday, whatever day it's going to be that you're going to listen to this. Sometimes you just have to know when to to cordially say no, thank you. And I don't know. I mean, that could have been a $50,000 pool boiler repipe. I don't know. Maybe he owns a hotel. I have no idea. And at this point, I don't care.
Yeah.
And that may be a poor attitude for me to have, but a lot of what we deal with, I am ecstatic to go work for a customer who is courteous and all of the things that we want to be when my technician shows up at your house. We're on time, we're courteous, we have an understanding of what we're going to do, and we respect each other and respect each other's time. Right?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Easy. We're going to have a great relationship. We're going to have a great customer interaction. We're going to do everything in our power to do what you need done. But if you come in with a bunch of demands and like already firing off at the cuff, like you're going to get what you deserve. Well, guess what? You're going to get what you deserve. Go find somebody else. I don't know.
Yeah, you do need to know when to say no, though. I mean, I've had a few calls lately that, were frustrating, and then either proactively I said no, or I didn't, it didn't work out anyway. I was not going to get the job. And recapping like I did with you the other day, and we'll bring that up here in a second, but recapping and thinking like, oh, I'm glad I didn't get that one. But like the guy with the water heater I was telling you about, he just called and he's like, yeah, my water heater's leaking, and blah, blah, blah. And he knew all about it. So I knew on the first initial call that this guy had already talked to a plumber, because he's like, do you need me to send you pictures? And he told me what it was, how many gallons, power vent, all this stuff. He knew all about this water heater.
Yeah.
And he knew the information ahead of me asking, which tells me he's already talked to somebody, which is fine. That's fine. I don't think I'm going to be the first and only plumber that somebody calls.
Right.
So that's not the point. So I tell him, I'm like, I will get you a price.
Yep.
Within 10 minutes, if you send me those pics.
Yep.
So I can see what it looks like. And I need your first and last name and your address and your email.
Yeah.
He does that. He sends me the pics, which were within a couple minutes, which backs up my theory that he already talked to somebody, because he already had the photos.
Yep. He already.
So somebody already told them, him, send them the pics.
Yep.
Okay. So he does that, and then I'm like, I remind him, I need your contact info, and he sends that. And as soon as he does, I send him a proposal. While I'm sending him the proposal for the replacement, he calls me, but hangs up, and I'm like, oh, well, okay. So I hit send on the proposal, and I call him right back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I missed your call, and he's like, yeah, is this Pete's Plumbing? And I'm like, it's literally what he said too. I've never heard of this Pete's Plumbing around here, but apparently there's a Pete's Plumbing. And I'm like, nope, this is Eric from Audi Plumbing, the same guy that just sent you the proposal. We talked on the phone a minute ago.
Yep.
Oh yeah, well, I talked to another guy. I'm like, well, I just sent it right there. Take a look at it. Let me know what you think. We got you on the phone. If you may as well look at it now if you want.
Right.
Well, I'll call you right back. I'm like, okay, well, there goes that. Yeah. Anyway, so then he calls me back, but he doesn't know. He's asking me about somebody else again. And I'm like, no, this is a second person he's asking me about, which is a third plumber at least, including me. And I'm like, yeah. What'd you think of that proposal? You want, I can, it's like, can you do it today? And I'm like, yeah, I can do it today. It's going to be like 3-4 hours. But yeah, no problem. Won't be a problem. I can do it today, but it's going to, I got a couple other things and it should not be an issue. You're like 5 minutes from me.
Yeah.
Well, I did talk to somebody else that might do it sooner. I'm like, sooner? I said, first of all, if somebody can do it sooner than that, whatever. I said, second of all, like, who's it, he's like, well, the price, basically everybody's price is the same. I'm like, yeah, of course it is. Yeah. It's a friggin' 40-gallon power vented water heater. Everybody's going to have the same price.
Right.
I told the guy, I'm like, I'm local, been here for 20 years. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I can do it today. I answered all your questions. I did exactly what, like, I'm standing there going like, why am I wasting my time?
Yep.
And it's not that it's not worth my time. That's ridiculous to think. I don't think that way. Mm-hmm. But I walk away from that interaction going, that was a waste of time. This guy was going to hire the cheapest person who was going to jump and run there the fastest. I'm like thinking, this is your water heater in your house. It is now like mid-morning anyway. It was like 10, 11 o'clock in the morning.
Right. Yeah, you're going to be there in a couple hours. And
I was going to be there before the end of the workday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And this guy, yeah. So I knew I didn't have the job, but I like to kind of, push the thumb, turn the screw a little bit. So like an hour later, hey, if you need that water heater, I'm going to need to know. So I have that set up before, I just wanted to see if the guy was going to reply, and he did. Yeah, we went another direction, and I replied back, well, thanks for thinking of us. Please don't delete our number. We'd love to have the opportunity to talk to you again in the future.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk to this guy in the future. Maybe I do.
Yeah.
It's the joys of doing it. You got to know when to say no. And I didn't say no in that, but the whole time I'm on the phone with this guy, which is like 5 different calls, like I was telling you, like he calls again. I'm like, what the hell why is this guy? What is he just, he doesn't even know who he's calling now. He thinks he's calling a different Pete the plumber, or maybe it was Bob, or maybe it was Darren. Billy. I have no clue.
Doesn't matter.
And either did he.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah. No, we've had a few of those interactions over the years where it's like, oh yeah, we're getting pricing on this bathroom remodel. And I got 4 plumbers that are going to come look at it. And I'm like, okay, well, don't have me. Cause whatever you already got 4 guys coming. You got 4 competitive numbers coming. You don't need mine. Sorry. I'll go on somewhere where, and not that I don't want it to be a competitive market, cause that's not the case. But when we're talking about something that, if you've got 4 competitive numbers on something like that, it's like the water heater. What are you expecting? Are you expecting that somebody's going to come in and go, oh, I forgot the water heater, and I'll do it for $600? Oh, you didn't know that you were going to have to go pick up the water heater from Home Depot?
Right.
That's what you're going to get. You're going to get, the guy that's standing outside Home Depot looking for something to do to put in your water heater. And he's going to do it for $8.99 because the water heater's $8.50, and he's going to get himself $49 for an install and pick up lunch,
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not running that business.
No.
I'm not above taking the next job that comes in. That's not it either.
Mm-hmm.
Not at all.
Yep.
You didn't hear me talk in our last episode when we talked about, what would we do different or something. For one of the things that popped into my head, and before we wrap this up, I'll just bring it up real quick, was, would you take every job that came along like you did early on? And I think back to that and be like, hell yeah, that's what you do when you start. Yep. You take every job.
You take them all. Yep.
There's a lot of reasons why, though. Not just because you need to pay your bills.
Yeah.
But with the perspective of having done this for many years, taking every job taught me a lot about what I do and don't like, and what I'm good and not good at.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's how you get to the point where you can talk about how to say no to a job. Yeah. You have to first take those jobs.
You got to
those people.
Yep. You got to say, been there, done that.
Yep.
Yep. Some of those are harder to choke.
Yeah. But yeah. Well,
it's like a crappy taste or cup of coffee. It just lingers.
All right, dude. I'm going to hit stop. You good?
All right. Good to go.
All right. Bonus. We're going to let the bonus music play us out.
That's right. There it
Ding
is.
ding 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 ding.